Hey guys, welcome back. Scott Matthews, Latrobe Valley Airport, Victoria, Australia, building the Sopwith Camel. There's a lot going on in the world. Enjoy the video. Alright guys, so first an apology. I lost all the footage. I had enough footage there for a video, and for some reason the GoPro decided to play up. So we'll try and catch up. First things first, Trump got in. Right, everyone's informed. So, where am I up to? It's been amateur hour at the moment actually. I'll show you why. So I've actually been mucking around with this GoPro for half an hour, which I probably shouldn't have. Got the firewall done, we'll get back to that. We're on the bottom wings, one wing's painted. I completely forget where I'm up to. I've just deleted everything, so we'll just start again, obviously. The last of the wings is grey on top, in 2 coats of primer. I've put 2 coats of linen colour on there. That needs a sand. On top of the hour, it's 1:45 now. I'll give it an hour between coats. It's a nice warm day today. So 15 minutes time, I'll give this a sand and another coat of paint. We may or may not get that finished today. No real rush. That's the last wing. This wing is just waiting on its mate to be finished. Then I'll flip it over and we'll do the roundels, which are quite fun actually. So in the meantime, Nicholas, who's flying a Camel, I spoke to him this morning. Thanks mate, give me some advice on what goes over and under what, because I'm basically finished on the build notes, which are pretty rough as I keep saying. But we've got to design the front. So I've started on the cowl. Now this is where the amateur hour kicked in a bit. So I've made up all these, the sheet metal, folded it all down. I pinned it to the bench, folded every second one down, cut these with the grinder. That did 2 things. It's given me some tangs out the back of the firewall, if needed. They may not even be needed, I can cut them off. But I think I will need those. So the plan was sort of for the rear sheeting to come to the front and the front sheeting to come to the back to get a good overlap. But I'm not sure, I think they butt together. Anyway, I've got a good inch and whatever there, or 40 mil flange to mount everything to. That'll probably stiffen up the firewall. However, on one of the sides, on this other side here, I did all the clecos, then I realised I had the solid flange on the top and the teeth on the bottom, as opposed to this here. So, lo and behold, I took out the clecos, flipped it over, that way, and you wouldn't believe it, but it actually, I didn't think it would, but it went back on. So you can see I had top marked here. That's now the bottom. So I don't know how that works because it's not CNC machined. Now I'm killing ants. So the next thing that I I went over and grabbed some wood, 90 by 35, 4x2 I think in America, and it was covered in ants. That's why it looks like I live in the hangar in a filth. There's ants. I have sprayed Mortine everywhere, fly spray, ant spray. And yeah, I brought the wood over and one of them was full of ants. And then I had ants in my pants and ants on my firewall. So that was quite comical for a while. Then I've been mucking around with the GoPro. So we'll try and salvage some sort of sense out of what I've been doing for the last few days. That's where we're at. With the firewall, I'm half tempted to leave it clecoed at this stage and then offer it up, bolt it on even. Then if I was to run an L angle, to run an L angle out, then I can utilise the pilot hole that I've got here already. I think it'll pay dividends in the long run to leave the clecos in. I've also got some sort of mounting system for the my beautiful pair of bolt-ons. They will come through here somewhere. I may have to knock a couple of teeth out to allow for some sort of mount. I'm just making this up as I go along. Pretty sure once I bolt it on, then I'll definitely need to just run some L angles somewhere just to stop it flapping around too much. No, don't go overboard, but yeah, I'll get that on at some stage. I already filmed all this morning, but I have to do it again. I went down, not we, me, I went down to the aviation aisle in Bunnings again. I love these things. They're the plastic inserts for the paint tray, and then you just, when you're finished, that's the cleanup done. And I just put the roller back in the fridge. A pre-used roller for the same colour, fantastic. When you get a new roller, takes a bit of, get it loaded up with paint and get it working correctly. So I like to use the same roller for the whole system, 5 coats or whatever. It sort of gets better with age, like a good wine. Now, stop trying to be a philosopher. I went down and bought an extra 2 litres of olive drab and 2 litres of linen colour. $150 for 4 litres of paint, 2 different colours. Wow. I've got some paint in the fridge. I'll probably only need, a cup out of the linen. Anyway, I've got it. What happens with the paint, because it's so expensive, I keep tipping it back in the tin, but it's getting thinner and thinner. So the bottom stuff's basically 100% ready to go, but it's thinned, if that makes sense, because I've been tipping all the dregs back in there. But you don't know what mix it's at, but it's not that critical. So yeah, $150 for some paint. I'm pretty sure I'm finished with the glue. I'll get these painted. I'm going to probably put a wing on the bench upside down. This wing will stay on that bench. I'll wheel it out, pull the tent down. It'll give me all this space when I can start to work on the fuselage then, and do the roundels. So we'll see how far we get on that today. I've got 5 coats of colour on there today. I must admit the last one was a rush. If that was the top, I would probably not have whacked another coat on. It even looks like it needs another coat to me, to be honest. I'll see how it is tomorrow. Because it's the bottom, so I want to be able to mask it up. I'm being impatient, I guess. I'll be able to mask it up tomorrow and put the green on. So I think that'll be okay for the bottom. Just a light patch here. It's all good. I'll see how it is. I might even do another coat tomorrow. Good drying conditions. And I'm just cleaning up now for the day. I've got felt like a dentist there for a while. I had to didn't know a better way to do it, just basically hand file and sand every tooth. Bear in mind there's one laying down as well. So it's a lot of edges. But got that basically on. You're looking at the back of the firewall. Tomorrow I hope to clean that up, do the scales, might mount the engine mount. Now I need a locking medium for the bolts. I'm thinking of making some little tab washers. If you don't know what a tab washer is, it folds over like the engine mount, and it also folds over the head of the bolt. So I might just make those rather than try and drill holes to do a lock wire. But we'll see how we go. The painting's gone really well, really happy with that. Like I said, I'll check that tomorrow. And probably at least another day to get the green on. All right, last surface of a wing. First coat going on. I like to soak the tapes. It's all about the tapes. And with this coat, it's just about getting it on there. And I'm looking at the flatness as opposed to the coverage. It looks real streaky and patchy. Beautiful. Just want an even cover, give me something to work with, highlight any defects once again, and just enjoy the ride. I try not to stop mid-wing or anywhere. You get a dry edge like there. It's a good process. You can see how much water, so I do 4:1 water to paint. It's probably a little bit thin, but it's working for me. So it's taken the whole aircraft. In one sense, I wish I was back on the tail with what I've learnt doing an aeroplane. The cruiser was exactly the same. The tail's pretty rough, and then the cowl is literally award-winning. So yeah, just go over all this, not forgetting underneath. I've already done that. Like I said before, it's just a matter of getting that, like if you're spray painting, you get the sticky coat on first. Give this best part of an hour or so. No rush. Just depends on the day really as to how the paint goes. It sort of tells me when it's ready to sand. So a light sand, and need another 4 coats at least, I'd say, on the green here. This sheepskin roller holds a lot more paint than the microfiber one. And if you get a scummy, if the camera picks it up right there, just pick it up like that, wipe it off, and get on with the job. You can't do that with spray paint, but you probably won't get the scummies with the spray painting brush. So I'm completely lost with my videos this week because, as you know, I lost all the SD card, so I may be repeating myself. Some of those bits of junk, it's either the Floetrol that I use in the paint, or I could filter the paint, but it's just as easy just to flick them out as they come. Another one there. As a blowfly flies in. So I'll keep going with this, guys, and touch base soon. Alright, first coat is on. This is going to take the rest of today and probably tomorrow. It's alright. And I don't like to turn the wing over straight away. Like the next process is do the roundels. So I'll probably stretch it out, give it a weekend to sit, and cure. I think this paint takes probably a month, if I'm honest, to really harden up. Not hard, it's never going to harden up, but it dry up completely. And this wing, then I'll flip them over and mask them. I did have trouble again with the masking tape. You sort of get a waxy finish. So I had to sort of, in some spots, put the masking tape on and then brush the paint on to stick the masking tape down, like laying fiberglass almost. I can see some bleeds already around these tubes at the wing root. Those nasty little corners in there. But that's fine, the touch-up's pretty easy, a little brush. Touch it all up. But that's good, let that dry. You can see it's shiny at the moment, so it'll tarnish off as it's starting to here, or go flat. I use a low sheen paint. So while I'm on the paint, I'm using Deluxe Ecology Green in Australia. It's a Deluxe colour chart colour, if you like. The bottom is Taubman's Tailored Linen. I mix it 4:1 with water, and I'd love to say, a splash of water or something, but I like to be a bit more, your splash is different to mine. I use 10 to 15% Floetrol as well. Whether that works or not, I'm not too sure. I've learned a lot over this process in painting. Like I said before, it'd be great to go back to the start. You build up a trust as I stand here, you can probably see this drying off as I talk to you. It's good. So yeah, 10 or 15% Floetrol. It's pretty expensive, that stuff. Oh, you know, $30 for a quarter litre, 250 ml or something. You probably don't need it with hindsight, but I'm on a good thing, so I'm sticking with it. All right, Firewall, all clecoed up, ready to go. Engine mount, we'll have a play with this. First thing I'm going to do is screw the bolt all the way in and work out how I don't want to be thread bound. So that's thread bound there. So looks like I need some shorter bolts. Okay. Or do I use 2 washers? If I use 2 washers, and that'll clamp just. I'll probably have to get some shorter bolts, I would say. Right, we do run into issues from time to time. So my screw ends up, or my bolt hole ends up too close to the engine mount here. It does recess back a little bit. I've written panhead on here because I'll probably maybe put a panhead bolt, but or I could just rivet it. I think I'll just rivet it. But if I rivet it, it means I can't get the firewall back off, like ever, like easily. Does it need to come off? I don't think so. But I need to make sure I do something with these holes before I put the mount on. But you need some jiggle room to get the engine mount, because the engine mount goes through the firewall into the mounting holes, so you need a bit of jiggle room. So I guess if I take the mount off, put the bolts back in through the firewall, then rivet, then take the bolts out, put the engine mount back on, might be the go. Or panhead screws. So if I put panheads in, I don't think I'm ever going to get in there to take the firewall off anyway. Why would you have to take the firewall off? Just thinking out loud, guys. Tank's okay. Might be a case of rivets to the rescue there. Even this one's close enough to be a pain. Yeah, I think I'll bite the bullet and just get this on. This is where the guessing game comes in a bit. The flying wire at the bottom lower corners of the cowl, obviously this runs up somewhere. Where that is exactly, I'm not too sure. You sort of got to guess. So I'm going to take the first teeth off here, round this off. I'll have a spare hole. Also, I'll scallop the firewall for the cable because of what it is, the flying wire. I don't want it touching or rubbing the firewall, so I'll make a nice home for it there. Trim that up nicely, but leave enough meat for the engine mount. Righto, second coat is on, makes the wing look a lot better. Got a lot of fluff in that. Need a good dry and a good sand, or light sand, and still playing with the firewall. So I've upsized all the holes, marked where I've got to cut. Now it's time to pull it apart, deburr, probably rivet that together, I reckon. Let's do that. Right, a bit puffed, but just going through and scuffing up my firewall. I've changed to the 240 volt drill with a Scotch-Brite pad. Just remind me not to try and do this on the cowl. You need a vertical drill to keep control because obviously everything just squirrels off. But for this piece, I think it'll camouflaged quite well. So we'll keep going, only about a quarter of the way, get all that done. It'll look okay when it's done. Whew. Went with a Scotch Brite in the end, just rough cut. That's looking all right. A few more to go. This is the fun part, guys. Icing on the cake. I pop some rivets all around the perimeter. Leave out these two, so I think I'll need those in the future. And we'll put her on. We'll start to put it on anyway. Fun bit, rivet. Pizza base is almost done, all riveted on. Left two out. Looks good, I didn't miss. You'd have to be careful, sometimes you can push the back away and you'll miss. All right. Nice, we'll put that on and maybe bolt these or rivet those on. All right, I've got the firewall on. It's bulging out a bit because I've got the rubber in there. Also, I don't like this metal on metal just there, even though it sort of oil cans a bit. So I think I'm going to put something on the airframe, some cushioning. I don't know what yet. Even electrical tape would work. And what else? Just wanted to make sure my engine mount bolts are free. And I guess I can rivet it on. So I might pull it off and prep the frame so it's not metal on metal. And maybe look at the sort of bulging out. The rubber's too big for my fuel tank. Alright, got my magic P-seal. I use this stuff as a trim tab on the cruiser, on the flaperons. If you haven't seen that episode, have a look, how to fly your cruiser straight, your Zenith. So I've put that on. It's actually lower than the pads, so in theory it's just a bit neater than silicone. I was going to run a bead of silicone and try and put it on, but we'll see how that goes. It might puff it all out too far, I'm not sure, but what, you can only try. Why did I use this stuff? Because that's what I had. Alright, just packing up for the day. I tend to vacuum each day. Cleaned up. Had a good day, guys, good day. This wing's looking fantastic. 2 coats. Let it dry, come in tomorrow. You can see a few daggy spots. I'll hit that with the iron. That's why it's good to let it thoroughly dry. Yeah, we'll go over that tomorrow. Another 2 coats of paint at least. That's why I'm not trying to rush into it too much. And you feel like you sort of flounder around some days, but then other days you get a result. So I went with the rivets, big stainless steel 3/16 rivets, white stainless, because it's what I had, guys, it's what I had in the cupboard. So they're left over from the Zenith, probably missing from the main spar, but anyway, they're leftovers. I put that rubber in there, it's worked a treat, really good, a lot cleaner than, imagine if I had to put silicone on there, you know, out of a tube, it would have made a hell of a mess. So, happy with that. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure what's going to happen down here with clearance. but nothing that the Tim Snips won't fix in the future. So, where to from here? I really need to finish the wings, pull down the tent like I said, but I'm getting onto the fun stuff. I'm having fun. I could put the plywood panels back on. I need to do the turtle deck, even though that's a beautiful finish there. And all this bit sort of scares me a little bit. Maybe I'll work from the bottom up. See, now I've built myself now a nice, so that the aluminium will overlap the plywood to pick up these holes here, which I've got the luxury, I guess, of being able to back drill. I can get to the back side if I do one side at a time. I can reach across and drill through that way is what I'm getting at, so I don't have to find the holes. And then this will be, sheeted with aluminum. Looks like I'm going to have a bit of a, get in focus here. It looks like I'm going to have a funky sort of curve going on there. Probably need more of these brackets on the floor. I may need something at the front, not sure. And I've got to mark these actually, the engine mount bolts. I just had what I had, 2 washers and a spring washer that's way too big. I was worried about them being thread bound. I need some 1/4 inch shorter bolts, or 6mm shorter. But you can see where I was going. I've got a really nice flange now to work on. I'll probably sheet this up to here, and then the cowl, I'm not sure how that's going to work, whether it butts up or overlaps. I'd like the overlap, because then it can be 4 inches too big, and just get it on and make it look like it's perfect, rather than try and have 2 bits butted up, because you'll end up with wonky tonk, or I will anyway. GoPro's been playing up a bit, so might download this and give you guys a look at where I'm up to. Alright guys, there's the Camel. It's going well, getting onto some fun stuff now, doing the Firewall, things like that. Gets me enthusiastic again. I've still got to concentrate and get the wings done, but that'll all happen slowly. I'll get that, what's today? I'll get that done by the weekend, give it some cure time. The roundels are always fun. We'll get that done, and see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.